So here's the issue in action. Got the cabin filter removed. It was filthy. There's the blower motor assembly. So there's the fan itself. Motor's under here. Power coming into it. Resistor we got in the back there, which we'll talk about in a bit. But anyway, the common issue is 0, 1, 2, 3. Obviously no action. And then when you get to 4, motor is spinning, all action. So it's kind of an all or none. And the reason for this is the way the motor is powered is setting 4, which is the high setting. That's usually the high setting. Has no resistance or has a built-in wired resistance. It actually shorts or skips around the resistor that we're going to replace. So full electricity to the motor on setting 4, and the way that settings 3, 2, and 1 modulate that is by actually running the electricity through the resistor. And by running through the resistor, you decrease the amount of current going to the blower motor, and of course decrease then the power and decrease the spin rate. So less airflow. Anyway, this problem here, if you have it, it only pumps on 4 or 5 depending on your car. Well, it's probably your resistor, a $50, $55 item from the dealer. So time for the big reveal. Where is the blower motor resistor? So there's the blower motor. Quick review. It actually seems to spin okay, relatively unimpeded. Now, this entire dash area or sub-dash area has a number of screws here, here, and actually I believe you have to pull this strip off, and you'll find some more screws behind it to pull out this entire unit. Now, I don't really feel like doing that, so perhaps there's a way we can get at that blower motor resistor without doing that. So, a little hole over here, drop in, boom, there it is. That's the blower motor resistor. It's got 2 screws, 2 Phillips screws, and it's got the power cable. So, if you can, there's a couple of ways to access it. You can reach underneath, you can reach through this hole. But I will tell you, this is not for the largest stature. You may have trouble fitting through this, in which case you may be stuck removing the dash. But if that's the case, good luck. Can be done, just takes a little more time. If you can get your hand either underneath or through this hole, you might actually be able to do this without removing everything. And hopefully that saves a little time. Unscrew as is, and let's see if we can pull the whole thing out. So we got those 2 screws on the side. Not that easy to get in there, but if you or you have a friend that's small enough, get your arms in the little gaps and unscrew. Once you get that screw loosened, you could actually take it by hand. It's not held in there that firmly. Okay. And we got our 2 screws. There we go. And this entire resistor is ready to be removed. Just back it out. See how much slack we have on it. There she go. Not too much slack. Got this guy out, and it was not very easy. However, if you notice, right here in the middle, in the bottom, there's a little button right there. So dead center, a little dead center left, right, and a little below, below that kind of thick bar, there's a little button there, right here. That little button I pushed with a small flathead screwdriver and kind of angled up. So kind of push in and up. You don't have to do much. You just need a couple millimeters of movement, and then it gets loose enough that you can actually yank this cable out. All right, so just went to the Subaru dealer. Showed you this before. Picked this up. There's the code again, 72226FG001. 112A. I'm not sure if that has any significance, but anyway, here it is. Pull this guy out. Ah, there's the new one. Looks nice. Now notice the mechanism is facing down for the one we saw on the dash there. So let's keep this facing down. Basically, there's 4 pins. We yank the old one out, pop the new one in. There is the fuse. That must be what failed. And 2 screws, one on either side. We should be good to go. So if there was any doubt, let's check it out. Here's the old. Here's the new. They look similar. Turn it on its side. That's the new. Boom, there's the old. Now, slightly different design, so hopefully it's still good to go. We have to check. But that fuse is definitely blown. So none of the resistive modes, none of 3, 2, or 1 were functional. And energy was just going, electricity was just going directly to the blower motor. The blower motor resistor actually continues to work in 4 as a safety feature. The non-resistive mode is actually for your defroster, so that you can still see, even though you may not have heat how you like it. The cradle here looks the same. It's got the same 4 pins, same fitting. So very hopeful that this will work, even though the backside looks a little different. Let's set it up and let's see what happens. So the notch back here forces you to fit this correctly. There's no way to make a mistake. If you look, here's the orientation we expected. There's that notch. So there's only one way to fit this in. All right, so let's get back over here and try to get some film action of this. Is. Okay, that took a little effort to get this thing in, but couldn't hold the camera do it at the same time. But it was an easy push. You didn't really have to see it. Clicked. We should be in business. Before we seat this in that back wall, let's try it out. The big reveal. Oh my goodness. 1 is working. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's fantastic. So we just have to put those 2 screws back in, put the cabin air filter back in. That was 25 bucks for a new filter. Comes with the plastic housing. And put the glove box back on, which is very easy, doesn't even require any screws, and we are in business. By the way, if you have your filter out, you will get quite a bit of rush in through the engine. So especially now, snow out, good time to lock this back up, trap some of the heat in the car, keep some of the cold out. Okay, $55 fix for the resistor, and rewardingly obvious here, which is nice. $25 for the filter. So, 70, 80 bucks, and you've got yourself a functioning cabin air system again.